Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 78 Everyone works together to kill the Source Beast. Xianming Black Hole. Seeing that the leader of the other Source Beast was too powerful, Hades had to use the Xianming Black Hole in the hope of delaying the other party. Seeing that the strongest Source Beast was sucked into the Xianming Black Hole, Hades and Snow Queen couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. But before they could rest assured, a crack suddenly appeared in the space in front of them, and then a huge claw appeared, tearing open the entire Xianming space. Source Beasts are monsters that invade the world. Since they can break the barriers of the world, naturally when facing the weaker Hades' Xianming Black Hole will be ineffective against it. The two did not dare to hesitate and release their attacks to hit the Source Beast again, but were directly blocked by the opponent. Then a giant energy ball appeared in the mouth of the Source Beast, which directly blew the two up. Puff. What a terrifying monster. If they don't come back, or if we don't send them to the right time and space, then there is only the last resort. Hades spit out a mouthful of blood, then looked at the Snow Queen and said. The Snow Queen was also in a bad mood. Her strength was not as good as that of the Hades. The veil on her face was almost stained red with blood. Looking at the Hades, he seemed to have no despair at all, as if he had won. Although I don't know why, I think the backup plan he mentioned must be very powerful, the Snow Queen thought. Swish. At this moment, a space crack appeared not far away, which immediately attracted the attention of the two. Then the space crack became larger and larger, and several figures rushed out from it. They were Olympii and others who had just left. Haha, we are finally back. Xiao Pang looked at the people who were still fighting, and knew that he had not come at the wrong time. It seemed that they had just left not long ago. It seems that they really succeeded. Looking at the returning Super Beast team, the Snow Queen smiled at the Hades. To be precise, we succeeded. The real battle is just about to begin. The Hades said slowly when he saw this. Father, we succeeded. Tianyu hurried over to help the Hades up and said. You guys retreat quickly, use the Super Beast God Fusion to fight, this battlefield is not for you to come. Seeing this, Hades quickly pushed his daughter away and asked her to join his companions. The group of Super Beast warriors joined together, and then combined with the Super Beast God, and were about to attack the Source Beast. At this moment, a huge shadow flew over. A closer look showed that it was the resurrected Cloud Bat Core, and the leader was Yezizi who had died with the Cloud Bat Core before. Cloud Bat Core, everyone, join me in forming a giant Cloud Bat formation to deliver energy to Lord Hades. Yezizi came over and ordered directly. Then all the members of the Cloud Bat Core formed a square formation and began to transmit energy to Hades. Although Hades' energy has now reached 30 black holes, the Cloud Bat Core is also very optimistic about his increase, almost doubling its energy. Okay, kill them all in one go. Hades, who received a huge amount of energy, gained confidence. Destruction. A huge energy ball was condensed by him, and then instantly flew to the crystal on the forehead of the giant Source Beast. The huge force directly blew it away, and the indestructible crystal had several cracks. Damn low-level creatures, we came to your world, and we should be eaten by us. Why struggle so hard? The Source Beast cried out in pain, looking at the Hades and threatening. If you want to invade our world, come back after 100,000 years, the heavenly wolf halberd. The Hades clenched his right hand in the void, and then a halberd appeared in his hand. This is the 10,000 weapons art he learned before. When practicing to a certain level, you can condense your own life weapon. Now his energy just reached the standard, so he used this move directly. Heavenly Wolf Destruction Kill. Then the Hades directly held the halberd with both hands and slashed a crescent-shaped attack towards the crystal of the Source Beast. He knew that his energy could not last long, so he could only kill the other party as soon as possible. Now the Hades and the Source Beast are both at the peak of the 6th level, but they are not as permanent as the other party. Swish. With this attack, a more obvious scar appeared on the Source Beast crystal, which made it feel shocked and terrified. Claw returned to the origin. Then a giant claw attacked, and Hades had to hold the halberd in front of his chest with both hands, and was instantly knocked hundreds of meters away. Super Beast God 7 combined. At this time, a voice came, and then a huge figure appeared. It was the Super Beast God 7 combined formed by Olympii and others. It was the combination of the Super Beasts of 7 warriors and was their strongest combat power at present. Use your tricks together and gather them into one trick. Seeing this, Hades hurriedly shouted to them. As the 7 Super Beast warriors used their own tricks, their beliefs merged into one, and a huge longsword appeared in their hands, which was the Tianyuan sword. The Super Beast world has 2 top weapons, one for attack and one for defense. The strongest shield is Yelingyun's Cloud Bat Shield. And the sharpest weapon is the Tianyuan sword in their hands now. The Super Beast God of the 7 people combined held a sword in one hand and a shield in the other, and directly killed the leader of the Source Beast. Although they are no match for the leader of the Source Beast now, with the bonus of the Tianyuan sword, their attack power definitely surpasses that of the Snow Queen. Because they knew the cause and effect of the matter long ago, they quickly dealt with the matter 100,000 years ago, and then practiced together for a period of time, and they are much stronger than when they left. Although the supernatural energy of each of them is less than 5 black hole summoning nebula bodies, it is very close, making their current combined power directly surpass the Snow Emperor. Born to fight, fight to the death. The 7 people directly held the Tianyuan sword and slashed towards the origin beast. And, if you want to die, I will help you. Seeing that they dared to attack him first, the origin beast directly faced them. Seeing this, Pluto was not to be outdone, and rushed forward with the serious halberd in hand. Seeing that he couldn't intervene at all, the Snow Emperor hurried to the battlefield between Saitama and Xianyaizu. There were several early and mid-level 6th order Source Beasts there, who were also formidable enemies. Pluto and the Super Beast warriors repelled the leader of the Source Beast together, and then Pluto temporarily imprisoned the Source Beast. Super Beast warrior, use this moment to attack the crystal on its forehead. Okay, Tianyuan sword. The 7 people responded at the same time after hearing the words. They held the swords in both hands and slashed directly at the source beast's crystal that was already full of cracks. In an instant, it was split into two, and then the source beast leader turned into ashes and disappeared. Hoo-hoo. Finally, I've solved this guy. Everyone was exhausted, and even the super beast combined state immediately exited. Although the super beast god fusion disappeared, Pluto was still there. He did not dare to be careless and rushed directly towards the other origin beasts. Pluto, who had the 6th level of peak strength, came to the rescue and quickly wiped out all the source beasts. It's so intense. This is definitely the most brutal battle I've ever seen. In the live broadcast room, Conan couldn't help but sigh as he looked at the scarred people. Of the many troops present, not a single one had been killed. Even the Lion King was almost seriously injured and about to die, let alone other cannon fodder levels. Snow Emperor struggled to stand up from the ground, looking at the troops with heavy casualties. He couldn't help feeling sad. But this is not the time to feel sad. We are about to quickly integrate the troops and count the casualties. As soon as Pluto let go of his hand, the Sirius halberd disappeared, and he couldn't help but collapse to the ground. The cloud bat legions above him fell down one after another, and they had been drained of their strength. Do you think this is the end? Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 79, 10,000 Ghosts Destroy the World in Danger. At this time, a voice resounded throughout the battlefield, and then a huge shadow appeared, followed by countless black energy gathering into it. Pluto took a closer look and found out that the phantom was the resentment of Guigu who was killed before, and the countless black energy was the remaining power of the source beast. After the source beasts were killed, their remaining power was not completely dissipated, and it directly found its way to the most evil person in the world. Although Guigu is dead, his resentment is still there, directly possessing Guigu's resentment. Immediately afterwards, a huge black shadow appeared on the battlefield, and Guigu directly transformed into the Ghost King. This is Ghost King. Pluto looked solemn. He didn't expect that after finally defeating the source beast, he would be tricked by this Ghost Valley. Pluto, what should we do now? All our troops have suffered heavy losses. What can you do? Snow Emperor and Xianyaiza came to Pluto and stared at the Ghost King who appeared. Wait for me. Pluto knew that what happened this time was beyond his ability, so it seemed that he could only ask the group leader for help. Group leader, please help. He closed his eyes and went directly to the chat group square. In fact, there is no need for Pluto to ask for help. Everyone has already known what happened here through his live broadcast. Today's Ghost King has reached the 7th level of strength. Even if you have the previous state, you can't beat him. Now I can give you 2 plans. You can listen to it. Shichen came out to explain. Group leader, please speak. Pluto nodded upon hearing this. One is that I went over to help you deal with him directly. The other is that I can temporarily increase your strength to his level, and you can do it yourself. Pluto's eyes lit up when he heard it, and he directly chose the latter. Being able to experience the power of the subsequent realm would also be of great help to the improvement of his strength. No problem, please pay attention to accept your power. Shichen nodded when he heard this. He also wanted Pluto to improve his strength quickly. Nowadays, apart from himself, Pluto is the strongest among the strong people in the group. No matter what, he must be asked to improve his strength quickly, so that he does not have to help them all day long. Shichen made moves on his hands, but he was thinking in his heart that after this Pluto incident is over, he would personally go to 2 high-level worlds to recruit people, at least those who are better than Pluto. The Logo Jinxian would be enough. Today's Ghost King is probably in the realm of Tei Golden Immortal. He can also promote Pluto to this realm, but if it is still Logo Golden Immortal, then Pluto's body will not be able to bear it at all, and he will directly explode and die. At this time, Pluto opened his eyes, and everyone quickly looked over. Although they don't know why Pluto closed his eyes at this moment, everyone can only wait quietly. At this time, everyone saw Pluto open his eyes, and just about to speak, they saw Pluto's aura surge. At this time, the nebula behind Pluto emerged, and then the nebula gradually began to evolve, gradually turning into a cosmic scene. Looking carefully, everyone discovered that it was the current 5th parallel universe, the underworld. Upon seeing this, Hades understood in his heart that this was the vision of his next realm. In the universe where he lives, strong men with nebula bodies are already 6th level existences. And if you want to go one step further and reach the 7th level, the nebula body behind you will directly transform into a universe. Because I am a person from the underworld, what appears above my head is the scene of the 5th parallel universe. Such a terrifying movement forced everyone to retreat several hundred meters away, and also attracted the Ghost King's gaze. At this time, the Ghost King has reached the final step of fusion, and it is difficult for him to take action. He can only wait for himself to fuse the Source Beast, and then take action to kill Hades. Finally, the cosmic scene above Pluto's head was completely calm, and with a thought, he directly became the size of the Ghost King and tens of meters high. The fusion of the Ghost King also ended at this time, and the two looked at each other at the same time. Although I don't know what kind of help you got, now I can penetrate the 7 parallel universes at will, and all the universes can no longer stop me. The Ghost King's body stopped in midair, looking at the equally huge Pluto in front of him. Quite confident. He is very clear about the strength of the 7 parallel universes, and he does not believe that there is any power that can defeat him. Unfortunately, he does not know that someone sends cheats to Pluto through all the worlds. You are too ignorant, Ghost King, are you ready to die? Pluto said, holding his right hand in the air, and a huge halberd appeared, which was the Sirius halberd before. Bluff, all evil. The Ghost King snorted coldly, and countless skull-shaped ghosts appeared behind him, quickly attacking Pluto. Sirius kills. Not to be outdone, Pluto held the halberd in both hands and slashed forward with force, instantly knocking away the Ghost King's attack. Seeing this, the Ghost King no longer looked down upon the other party, but directly stepped forward, and a huge black palm struck. Pluto also did not fall behind, stabbing forward with the halberd in his right hand. The huge air wave generated by the attack between the two directly blew away all the onlookers. What a terrifying attack. What state are the two of them in now? The supernatural energy is completely unpredictable. Olympia and others looked at the two people attacking each other, and the shock in their hearts never stopped. Xianyaizi, do you see the strength of the two of them? The Snow Emperor looked at Xianyaizi at this time. Even she couldn't understand this old guy, so now she could only ask him. I don't know, but one thing is that their strength has surpassed the 7 parallel universes. If the battle lasts too long, the 7 parallel universes will be directly blown up, especially now that all the universes overlap. Xianyaizi stroked his beard and said solemnly. The 7 parallel universes will overlap once every 100,000 years, and each fusion will last for 7 days. And now is the last day of the 7 days. If they break through the underworld here, then other universes may also suffer a catastrophe, which Xianyaizi cannot accept. What has happened will happen again, what has been done will be done again. Whether this fateful reincarnation can be broken depends on whether Hades can succeed. Shaking his head, Xianyaizi continued to look at the battle. How is it possible? Why are you so powerful too? The Ghost King became more and more frightened as he fought. Every move of Hades could trigger the power of heaven and earth, as if he was fighting against the entire universe. In Hades' world, if you reach the 7th level, you will merge with the universe you are in. Just like the saints in the prehistoric world, you can fight with the power of the prehistoric world. The Pluto is now similar to the saint, but not as powerful. Now, he fights with the help of the power of the entire universe, which makes him more energy saving. The Ghost King is the opposite of him. Because of the Source Beast, he will be rejected by the whole world, and the damage he suffers will be even greater. Although the Ghost King is not afraid of the universe and the Pluto are now mutually borrowing power, like two strong men attacking the Ghost King together, making his injuries more and more serious. You want to defeat me? Wait another 100,000 years, and all the ghosts will be buried. The Ghost King roared, and then countless skeleton-like evil ghosts behind him exploded one after another, and the power of the explosion even buried himself. 10,000 ghosts exploded one after another, triggering the Ghost King's self-explosion, and then a huge energy was slowly brewing. Not good. If this energy explodes, it will directly sweep across the 7 parallel universes, and then this world will completely disappear. The Pluto was shocked when he saw this, and then burst out all his strength and flew towards the center of the explosion. Boom boom. After a long time, a huge explosion hit, and everything returned to calm. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 80, the end and a new beginning. In a classroom somewhere, Olympia woke up from his desk, attracting the attention of all his classmates. Olympia, you are sleeping in class again. The teacher on the stage said angrily. What's going on? I remember that I seemed to be fighting with the Ghost King before. How come I am back to school? After school, Olympia walked alone on the playground. At this time, a voice came from behind. Olympia turned around and saw that it was Xiaopeng Niaotaijun. Xiaopeng, why are you here too? Do you remember that we were fighting with the Ghost King before? Olympia finally saw an acquaintance and asked Xiaopeng quickly. He was afraid that everything he had experienced before was a dream. I am also wondering. It seems that we returned to the campus directly after the explosion. It's like everything has started all over again. Miao Taijun looked solemn when he heard this, and also expressed his doubts. So you have such memories too. I thought everything before was just a dream of mine. Olympia was stunned and then surprised when he heard this. The two walked and chatted, and unknowingly came to a basketball court. Hey, you are finally here. At this time, a familiar voice came, and the two couldn't help but look up. There were several people standing in front of them. Tianyu, Longjian, Tailai and others were looking at them. Why did you come here? What happened? Olympia was excited when he saw this, and hurriedly asked everyone. Let me tell you, the story is like this. Tianyu stood up at this time and told the two the last thing. It turned out that after the Ghost King exploded, the Hades teleported everyone out of the 5th parallel universe in order to save everyone. After that, Olympia and others returned to the time when everything started, and the White Tiger clan including the Snow Queen also returned to the 7th parallel universe. After the Hades saved everyone, he was also seriously injured and had to retreat to the underworld to recuperate. Tianyu also learned all this from the message left by the Hades. Now the channels between the 7 parallel universes have been closed, and we can only stay in this universe. Tianyu said at last. Everyone was moved when they heard this. They didn't expect this to be the ending, but fortunately they still won. It's good this way. We can go to school here together in the future and continue to be together. Olympia didn't feel too disappointed when he heard this, but smiled at everyone. Everyone was stunned when they saw this, and then they also laughed. Although it was only a short 7 days, the friendship between them was very deep, and the current situation was not unacceptable. Let's go, I'll treat everyone to a good meal. Olympia waved his hand and walked out first. The other 7 people shook their heads and followed together. Several people were talking and laughing as they passed the park. Suddenly, a black shadow pounced on Olympia and others. Everyone's instinct as a warrior was still there, so they hid directly. When they looked closely, it turned out to be a deformed monster with 4 limbs on the ground. What the hell is this thing, that just now almost took my life? Olympia stared at the monster, his tone a little surprised and doubtful. Before everyone could speak, more and more monsters of this kind appeared, gradually surrounding several people. Everyone, are your supernatural locks still there? Olympia stood in front of everyone, staring at these monsters and said, No, we have tried it before, and the supernatural locks seem to have never existed for some reason. Longjian shook his head and told them what they had done before. That's troublesome, it seems that we are doomed. Olympia smiled bitterly, thinking that they could die on the same day of the same year. Father told me before that as long as our faith in our hearts is firm enough, we can make the supernatural lock appear again. At this time, Tianyu stood up and said to everyone. Everyone was stunned when they heard the words, and then slowly closed their eyes. Arm. Then everyone opened their eyes at the same time, and the supernatural locks appeared on their wrists, and they turned back into Super Beast Warriors again. Great, we can do a big fight this time. Huo Linfei tightened his wrists and said excitedly to everyone. After a long time, after everyone solved all the monsters, they disarmed. These are just some monsters stronger than humans, but after they are armed, they cannot pose a threat to them, so they don't need Super Beast weapons at all. What on earth are these monsters? They actually appeared in the first parallel universe. After dealing with all the monsters, Huo Linfei and others began to analyze. After these monsters are killed, they will directly turn into ashes, which reminds everyone of the monsters they encountered before. It seems that you have regained your strength, not bad. At this time, a voice came, and everyone looked over quickly. Master. Huo Linfei, Tianyu, and Miao Taijun were very excited when they saw this. It was the disappeared Xian Yaizi. Master, what on earth are these monsters? Huo Linfei came to Xian Yaizi and asked hurriedly. Before, Hades sent me a message that although the Ghost King was defeated, the power of his energy explosion was too strong and directly affected the 7 parallel universes. As a result, the Source Beast energy contained in his body spread to all universes. These energies will be attached to some humans or animals, and then they will become this kind of monster. They no longer have human consciousness, but are just zombies controlled by negative energy. Xian Yaizi slowly told the source of the change. It was the work of the dead Ghost King. Hades discovered this and asked Xian Yaizi to notify the Super Beast Warriors. Damn, this Ghost King is so lingering. Everyone was angry when they heard it. Senior, can I go back to my universe? I'm worried about my people. Tai Lei suddenly said at this time. There are no Super Beast Warriors in their universe now, and the situation may not be optimistic. No need to do this. The place with the most negative energy is in this first parallel universe. Although there are also some in other parallel universes, they can't become a big climate. Xian Yaizi explained after hearing this. After hearing what Xian Yaizi said, Tai Lei put down his worries, and he couldn't go back to his own universe for the time being. Super Beast Warriors, your new journey has begun. After Xian Yaizi finished speaking, he turned around and slowly left. In the underworld, in the palace where Hades was. Hades closed the image in front of him, which was about what Huo Linfei and others had just experienced. Since he temporarily broke through the 7th level, his spirit seemed to have broken through the limit, allowing him to go to other parallel universes. Even so, he couldn't watch other worlds at will. This time it was just because Tianyu was there and had a blood connection, so he could directly see the images of Huo Linfei and others. It seems that everyone's fate has been changed. This is the best result. Hades was silent for a long time, and then slowly said. He still remembered the destiny space he saw at the beginning, the last Super Beast God 7 combined to fight the Ghost King. After the big explosion, it seemed to return to peace, but it was a new reincarnation. All time returned to the beginning, which was a new reincarnation, and then everyone would embark on the journey of becoming Super Beast Warriors again. The Ghost King failed, but he didn't fail completely. The Super Beast Warrior succeeded, but not completely. Just as Xian Yaizi said at the end, what has happened will happen again, what has been done will be done again. This is a new cycle, and Xian Yaizi, as a person who has been maintaining the stability of the universe, must have experienced many such things. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 81 Shichen wants to invite new members. The matter with Hades has come to an end for the time being. Now he is staying in his own territory, recovering from his injuries while experiencing the feeling of becoming a 7th level player. In the chat group, Shichen thought of what he had considered before. He has been helping everyone all the time, and he is too diligent. He needs to have the status of a big boss. Although Shichen in the chat group is created according to the modern 5 good youth, he is inevitably a little irritated after doing it too many times. Thinking of his previous plan, he decided to pull a few powerful group members, at least stronger than Hades, so that he could solve most of the problems in the group. After making the decision, Shichen closed his eyes and directly used the power of the chat group to search for suitable targets in the heavens and the worlds. Very good, the first one is her. Shichen nodded slightly. After deciding on the first target, he turned around to look for the next person. The second one, let's find another one next, and then I can fish well. After a long time, Shichen found a person, and he had some connection with him, and then decided to pull another one in. Soon, the third target was found, and then several people were invited. In a certain world, a beautiful woman in white clothes and long flowing hair suddenly received a message. Ding, the owner of the chat group of all heavens and worlds, Shichen, invites you to join the chat group. Do you agree? Although the woman has a beautiful face, she is expressionless, but there is a suffocating sense of oppression around her. The message in her mind made her frown slightly. She couldn't think of anyone else in the world who could suddenly break into her mind without her knowing. With her courage, she would not be scared. Although she didn't know the origin of this chat group, it sounded like a mysterious organization. The woman hesitated a little and agreed to join directly, wanting to see what this place was. For so many years, there was almost nothing that could make her curious, except that she had been planning that similar flower. Now it seems that there is one more existence that makes her a little interested. On the other side, a voice also appeared in the mind of a young man with sword eyebrows and star eyes, but he was quite shocked. Ding, the owner of the chat group of all heavens and all worlds, Shichen, invites you to join the chat group. Do you agree? What shocked him was not the so-called chat group, but the name of the owner. He not only heard of it, but also saw it with his own eyes. Without hesitation, the young man chose to agree directly. At the same time, the last woman also received an invitation. Ding, the owner of the chat group of all heavens and all worlds, Shichen, invites you to join the chat group. Do you agree? A little girl who was a little cute heard something, but didn't think much about it. She just agreed directly and then continued her own business. But what she didn't know was that another consciousness was awake at this time, looking at this strange chat group. Ding, the owner of the chat group, Shichen, invites the ruthless emperor, Tongtian Jiazu, and Tishin Honghong to join the chat group. New members are welcome to join. At this time, a voice resounded over the chat group square, making everyone look over, and even some offline people went online directly. This time was different from the past. In the past, the chat group always pulled people in, but this time it was the owner of the group who invited them personally. Everyone wanted to see who had this face. Shocked, the group owner actually invited people in person. I'm afraid I'm not dreaming. When he appeared, he didn't even drink his favorite cider, and directly expressed her shock to everyone. In fact, everyone was similar to him, and they didn't expect that someone would be worthy of the group owner's invitation. Not long after, 3 figures appeared in the chat group square, 1 man and 2 women. The man looked like a young man, wearing a Taoist robe, with sword eyebrows and starry eyes. One of the 2 women was dressed in white, with long hair fluttering, expressionless, but with a domineering look that looked down on everyone. The other person wore a red ancient skirt with a white long-sleeved robe, a golden orange hair, and a pair of cute animal ears on her head. Big brothers and sisters, the information about the chat group has been transmitted to your minds. You can read it before speaking. A cute elementary school student ran over. It was Conan who was playing an elementary school student again. None of them spoke, and then closed their eyes to digest the new information. Soon, several people opened their eyes, but they had the same look of shock. They all agreed to join the chat group for their own reasons, but they didn't expect that this was actually an existence that connected the heavens and the worlds. There were countless worlds outside their world. Junior Tongtian, meet the Daizan. Tongtian had known Shichen for a long time, but he didn't know his origins. Now he really knew what kind of existence he was. The Chaos Demon God, who was born in the chaos with Pangu, has reached the realm of the great Dao that Pangu could not reach. This person is really the top existence in the endless world, and he cannot tolerate disrespect. Not only that, Shichen is still in the prehistoric world. He and the other party are in the same world, and the pressure suddenly appeared. It doesn't matter. I am a trace of spiritual power separated from the main body. There are not so many details. You can call me the same as them. Shichen smiled when he heard it. May I ask, are you the legendary immortal? At this time, the ruthless emperor suddenly asked. I am not an immortal, but I am an existence that transcends immortals. Shichen knew the past of the ruthless man, so he answered directly. Then what is the purpose of your inviting me here? The ruthless man continued to ask. Alas, I let you in here just because I wanted to be lazy. You don't need to know now, but you will know it later, and I won't treat you unfairly. Shichen smiled when he heard this, and then told everyone their respective destinies. Ding, group leader Shichen uploaded Hong Huang. This is Hong Huang without changing the plot, Zhetian Trilogy, and Fox Demon Little Matchmaker, and the destiny space has been generated, and 3,000 points have been obtained. As Shichen took action, several people knew that this was their respective destinies. Although they were very shocked, they did not hesitate and went directly into it to watch. Soon, Tongtian Jiazu came out first. With his current strength as an early quasi-saint, he almost finished watching it in one glance, not to mention that there was no time passing in the destiny space. Is this really my destiny? Tongtian Jiazu suffered a big blow, and there were 2 things that he could not let go of the most. One was that his 3 brothers, Sanking, would eventually split up because of the discord between their respective sects, and finally he left Kunlun Mountain and fled to Jinao Island in the East China Sea. The other is that the Jijiao sect he founded later was actually sent to the conferred god list by his elder brother and second brother, along with outsiders. Although he had never seen the conferred god list, he had already known from the fate space what this heavenly book conferred god list was. What is the so-called immortality? Immortality is still subject to others, and cannot practice on their own, can only rely on merit to improve strength. Tongtian, I don't care what choice you make in the future, whether you will let your disciples enter the conferred god list, but you can't tell Laozi and Yuanji everything about the chat group at present. Shichen reminded Tongtian to come back to his senses. Daozan, Tongtian knows. Nonsense, how could he not know? How dare he offend this big guy? Not to mention that he has not yet become a saint. Even if he becomes a saint, he will just be crushed to death in front of this person. Isn't this asking for trouble?